Hello and welcome to a special bonus teaser of Trip Report from Wonderland Crew. Wonderland Crew is a way to not only support the show and help with the cost of hosting, equipment, travel, events, and more, but in addition, you will gain exclusive content and additional information, all while becoming a part of our amazing community and crew. Plus, every single penny of your pledge goes back into the show. We have a brand new addition to Wonderland Crew, all access level, and that will be a monthly trip report with one of our Wonderland Crew members. And in July, we had our good friends Lucie and Caleb on to talk all about their trip out to Disneyland, which was Lucie's first. So I'm going to give you guys the first 10 minutes just so you can check it out. And then if you want to learn more about Wonderland Crew, if you want to join at that all access level and get these bonus podcast episodes, you can go to wonderlandcrew.com and check out our Patreon group. I hope you enjoy this preview. Hello, everyone in Wonderland Crew, all access, and welcome to the very first trip report, which we will be doing every month with the Wonderland Crew member. The episode will only be available, though, to the all access crew, but we welcome all Wonderland Crew members to email me at magic@mainstmagic.com if you would like to be included. We are currently looking for an August trip report. We do have September lined up, but if you want to get to me ahead of time, that would be wonderful. So again, magic@mainstmagic.com. We are going to hop into a wonderful episode and review of Lucie and Caleb's trip to Disneyland at the beginning of July, and we are super excited to hear it. But first, let's hear our awesome theme music.
Most everyone's mad here.
Okay, so I am super excited to talk about this today with Lucie and Caleb. If anybody listens to the podcast, everybody knows who Lucie and Caleb is, so I don't feel like they need an introduction, but welcome, Lucie and Caleb.
Thanks for having us, guys. We're really excited.
Thank you.
So this was your first time in Disneyland, correct?
Yes, I've wanted to go for my entire life, and I finally got to go. So
Aww.
we're very grateful. Caleb's parents took our whole family, so there were 10 of us all together. Caleb's parents, Roy and Kay, his brother Ben, and his wife Erica, and their two daughters, Taylor, who is 15, and Pearl, who will be 3 in October, and then his younger brother Austin, and his girlfriend Asia, and then the two of us. So we were one big happy family.
Wow. Yeah, so this was Lucie's first trip to Disneyland, and I went, but I was young. Probably...
Okay.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I was probably maybe 3, maybe 4.
Okay.
I was probably around Pearl's age.
You've been twice, because then you went back and you rode California Screaming.
Oh, that's true. I did.
So
Yeah, because the first time I did some rides and was terrified, and it was awful. But the second time I went, so I've been twice, but not in like recent memory.
Not as an adult.
Yeah. So
let's start to talk about your trip. 10. First of all, I'm so excited to hear about how just 10 people and managing, and I'm excited to really dive into the differences between Disneyland, Disney World. We're also familiar with Disney World. You guys certainly are. You go all the time, just like we do. So I guess talk first about getting there. As far as flights, arrival, where did you guys stay? Because obviously a group of 10, I think, is going to be very interesting on how you do the accommodations.
Yep, so half of our family lives in New Mexico. So Caleb's parents, his older brother, and his family all live in New Mexico. So they actually rented a really big SUV and they drove.
Okay.
So they drove from Las Cruces. They stayed overnight in Phoenix, and then they drove through to Anaheim. We stayed in a VRBO. So the house was about 1.5 miles from Disneyland main gate. Super easy to drive to. House had a pool. It was really nice accommodations. Very interesting. The city of Anaheim is very strict about certain things. So they're really highly enforced quiet hours, including no music to be played outside at all, period, which we thought was really interesting. Oh yeah.
Period.
Like at not even
there's
during
no
the day.
hours.
Like it has to be it's very
Like
strict.
even like a little Bluetooth. You're sitting out at the pool. At
You
your
can't have
VRBO.
music.
It's very clear that that's one thing that you cannot do.
Oh, we were at the pool, and I was like, I had my phone like playing music, but I had it to like a level where I was like, no way anybody can hear this. No way. So I was being conscious, but at the same time, yeah.
But it says very
all day.
clearly it's a restriction that you can't.
Okay, so what would happen if
Cops kicking down the door, taking you to jail.
Nah.
The VRBO contract just says you're subject to a fine.
Yeah.
Well, so I think that
Wow.
area, it's one or two things. It's, you know, an older kind of community
Okay.
where older people kind of live, or it's just a bunch of VRBOs and Airbnbs around there.
Yeah.
And if you don't set like really high standards,
Okay.
You're going to have
it's
mayhem.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, the town of Anaheim is kind of like the town Walt built. Like there really
Yeah.
wasn't much there before Disneyland. So my thought is that it's just very family centered. So it's just very quiet. Like it's just a very kind of calm environment. So that was interesting. So they drove. Austin Asia flew from Charlotte. They flew through Phoenix. And then they flew into John Wayne International Airport right outside Anaheim. We did not fly into LAX, which I was really happy about.
Yeah.
We flew from Jacksonville to DFW and from DFW into John Wayne International Airport also. So we were about 20 minutes from the airport. So we all arrived on Sunday, July 3rd.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for saying VRBO, because I think Verbo, which is their marketing scheme, is ridiculous. And I only heard that like a year ago, and I was like, what? No, it's VRBO. So it's like, this is a residential neighborhood?
Yes.
Then? Okay. All right. And you said it was 1.5 miles, but it's taking you 20 minutes to get in? I mean, is traffic bad?
No, traffic isn't so bad. It's because we had Pearl and she needed a car seat. The transportation to and from the park was a little tricky because I haven't taken a minivan at Walt Disney World, but I found myself missing minivans because I wish we could have called and known we would have a car seat and we all could have taken one mode of transportation. What we wound up doing is half the family took the SUV that had the car seat in it and would park, and then the other half of us tended to Uber. Which actually had us coming from opposite ends of the property because the parking, you have to walk through downtown Disney versus the Uber is on the other side of the Disney property. And then you come through security that way and you kind of meet in the Esplanade in the middle. Oh, wow. So it was not the most convenient, but doable. Everything's pretty close. There's also hotels everywhere. Yeah. So if we go back, just the two of us, we'll probably just stay at an off-property hotel. We could have stayed at several and walked across the street.
Yeah. You're paying for parking then? Because
yes.
Okay, so none of that is included with your
No.
tickets or anything?
You're paying for parking. We had the very first day we had a dining reservation at the Disneyland Hotel. So we were actually able to park there for a little more than what their normal parking rate was, but was less than the Disneyland parking garage, and it was a little bit closer.
Okay.
So we were kind of able to extend that and park in their garage. So that was nice. But the other days they had to park in the standard Disneyland.
And there was no time limit on that in theory?
There was at the Disneyland Hotel,
Okay.
but I don't remember exactly what the parking guard said, but it was something along the lines of if you get your parking validated when you go in to dine, that'll get you a certain number of hours free.
Gotcha.
Then you'll pay for whatever when you exit that kind of is left.
Yeah, it wasn't like you can park in like the main lot right in front of the hotel,
Right.
eat breakfast, go to the park, leave your car there. That's why they have the parking garage like right across the street from the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah.
That I think that's what most people do. They'll either, if they're staying at the Disneyland Hotel, or they'll come eat breakfast, go into the parks, but they want you to park your car in that parking garage because the parking lot's not very big.
Right.
At the Disneyland Hotel. I mean, it's a very confined space. So they're like, hey, yeah, she was real nice.
Yeah, she was. She
And
told
she
us
was like,
exactly
just
what to do.
park in the parking garage,
Nice.
eat your breakfast, you'll be fine. And so that's what we did.
Well, we're going to get into your first day, but the one thing, because I know you started off with your breakfast and all there, I just want to hear real quick, as you walked into, did you go to, I'm looking at the notes real quick, but did you go to Disneyland or California Adventure first?
Disneyland.
First impression, walking in.
I cried.
Yeah.
If I'm being totally honest. I'm the only one that did. Everybody else was fine. But
Caleb, you have no heart.
first impressions, walking through kind of the tunnel, the initial entrance is very similar to Walt Disney World. So you walk under the Disneyland Railroad through the tunnel. You see the sign. It's really cool. And Taylor, our niece, had said on our way in, she was like, do you think we'll see the guys that sing? And I said, the Dapper Dans? And she was like, yeah, the guys in the suits. I was like, I don't know. I hope so. And we walked through, and as soon as we were walking through, the Dapper Dans came out.
Yes.
And they got on a trolley, and they went down Main Street, and they stopped in front of the Jolly Holiday Cafe, and they started singing It's a Jolly Holiday with Mary, and I cried. And everybody was like, what's wrong with you? And I couldn't help myself. Like, it was, I wanted to go to Disneyland since I was a little girl, and it just felt like it all came together. So that was really magical. The other first impression I had was the castle is so small.
I was just going to ask.
It's so small,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful, but I think I'm just used to Cinderella's castle is so grand, and Sleeping Beauty castle is just, well, it's tiny.
Yeah.
So that
That's
was
hysterical.
Both of us kind of like turned the corner and were like, like it's just not what we were expecting. We had heard that it was smaller, but sometimes you wonder in person versus on TV or what you're going to think.
Right.
And yeah, it's little, but beautiful.
I think, yeah, the difference for me walking in, like first impression, there's more going on their main street. It seems smaller, but more going on.
Okay.
I mean, they have all the vehicles going, and it's cool there. I mean, you can get on the vehicles. You know, I mean, you can get on the little trolley. You can get on.
For reals?
Like hop on and off. You don't have to be. It's not like you're a chosen one.
You don't. I don't know what the process is, but anyone can ride. It's not like at ours where you have to schedule and things like that. I don't know where
Yeah, I don't
where
know how
you
they do
sign
it.
up for it, but I do know they have a trolley. They have a horse-drawn carriage.
I like the guy. He's got like a little old school like fire truck.
Yeah.
And I swear I saw that
Isn't that the
guy
one
on
that
the
Walt-
Imagineering story.
Oh,
And it
really?
was the same guy.
Was it really?
Yeah, and I told Lucy, I was
It
like,
was.
that's the same guy from the
That's
show.
what
And
he
he's
said.
just this old
That's
sweet
amazing.
man waving, smiling on this little old fire truck. But there's just more going on the street than at Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney World, you get there and it's just people and a giant
Yeah.
castle at the end. And you're like, okay. But here, I mean, they have horse-drawn carriages. They have a little fire truck. They have a little trolley with the Dapper Dans going down with people just kind of in the mix of it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this 10-minute preview of our very first trip report, which we did with Lucie and Caleb. We will have these every month as part of the All Access Wonderland Crew membership. You can go ahead and check out our Patreon group, learn more about Wonderland Crew, and join by heading to wonderlandcrew.com. Thanks so much for listening.